All right, hey, this is Act 2 of the podcast. We're getting right back into it. If you missed Act 1, go back and listen to that thing. Otherwise, this isn't going to make any sense. Okay, see ya. Hello, welcome back, friends, on another edition of the back half of a typical Eric Zane Show podcast in which I have the radio station workplace staff meeting to get to. Another rip-roaring engagement there, and that now behind us, so we continue on with our broadcast day from right here in the Impact Power Sports studio. I heard from Dr. Jim Barry, who has for a long time been a terrific supporter of the show. Now, Dr. Jim, he is... God, he's got so many crazy things after his name. It says Dr. Jim Barry, LATATCNREMT. So now, if I remember the last time we talked about it, Dr. Jim is like the type of guy who he can like tape your ankle up. Or if you got like a cramp, he can like... rub your leg and then suddenly you don't have cramps anymore. I think it has something to do with athletic endeavors. Like a trainer or something like that. He is part of the audience that has been very supportive for a number of years. Big Buddha 001. Don't know what's up with this. It says, doesn't that T-shirt that you're wearing trigger PTSD of your experiences with the fraud bus? Well, I'll tell you this. The fraud bus, which is for sale right now, in case you don't know, it's a virtually brand new motorhome that Pooh Bear and I decided to get. It was nothing but a lemon. And after an entire year last year of navigating trips, driving in the fraud bus, the motorhome, it's a beautiful piece of equipment. It looks great, but it's absolute junk. Every trip we took, something would go wrong with that fucking thing. So after we put it away last year, we're like, all right, it's going. We're putting it away, and it's all repaired. Next year, we'll start anew. This year comes, first trip out, major malfunction, back in the shop for another 20 days. So we waved the white flag, getting rid of it, trying to sell it. Nobody wants to buy it. Not more than just a couple of phone calls. So now Pooh Bear is like, so I guess in answer to your question, as Bruce rolls on his back hilariously like he likes to do, doesn't the trigger T-shirt trigger PTSD? No, in fact, the opposite. With the amount of time that we have not been utilizing the fraud bus, I am starting to become less hateful of the fraud bus. And Pooh Bear has said, why don't we just get it out and use it? And I'm resisting that. And I said, no, I don't think that's a great idea. It's in pristine condition right now in terms of how clean it is, because we actually had professionals clean it in order to be able to show it in case someone is interested and wants to come see it on their own. I go, and the second we take it out again, something bad is going to happen to that machine. So I think we're better off just leaving that thing and hoping that eventually it'll sell. Now, each minute that passes, it depreciates more. Before too long, I'm just going to say, fuck it. I'll just buy it. And then still keep it for, I don't know. Frankly, it doesn't really cause me PTSD because I'm used to this fiasco of making a monthly payment on something that I don't even use. I'm used to it. I'm numb to it all. And if there ever is a day that I won't have to pay that nut each month, it'll be like found money. I could just use that money for whatever. Silver lining, let's say finally 6 months from now I sell it, then it's gone. Now there's a huge amount of money that I was writing a check for each month. I could use that to put into like my retirement. Black Belt Nick is here. He says, hey, missed the first half of the show. Hell, hope everyone had a great weekend. I think so. I know I did. All right. Anyway, I brought up Dr. Jim Barry because he says, CZ, I hope you had a great time at Fear Bunker North. September is National Service Dog Month, and I know how you love your pups. Our family is blessed with service dog Ross, so I wanted to reach out and ask if you'd consider a shout out on the radio or the podcast a few times this month. Well, I for the unwavering support and just for the common decency and common good of our fellow man, I am all about it. Now, I have a picture of the service dog that Dr. Jim Barry is talking about. Now, the two dogs that you see on the couch, those are not service dogs. Service dogs don't pee on your bed and take a dump in the living room. This is Dr. Jim's service dog. What is the dog known as? I told you, Ross. So this is Ross. He doesn't look like a Ross. I don't think I've ever heard somebody name their dog Ross. And you see he has that vest on, which means that he's a service dog. Now, I don't know the extent of Ross's service. I know that Dr. Jim has a family member that has some unique needs. You'll have to forgive me, but I don't recall exactly. Could it be cerebral palsy? I'm not sure. But I think that dog, Ross, does amazing things for the family. Time to celebrate service dogs and the great work they do for people with disabilities at Canine Companions. That's the group that I guess works with the family. Now, to me, if you have a dog that will like get your medicine and knows when you're getting ready to have a seizure. I saw a video of some chick who the dog knows that the person the owner is about to have a seizure. So the dog will jump and say, "Hey, get down. You've got seconds before." And then the person will sit down, and then they'll have the seizure, and then the dog will run and get the medicine and get water. It's incredible. Service dog like that, incredible. Police service dogs, you know, the ones that'll just bite your dick off. Salute. Dog that helps blind guy is awesome. Now, there are some people, like you might have a veteran whose eggs are scrambled, or a cop, or maybe a fire person. And they got to have a service dog with them at all times to calm their nerves. I had the folks from, what is the name of that group? The Jaeger Project. And if the guy who has a dog, typically they're veterans with PTSD, if they start to have an anxiety attack, the dog knows it beforehand, will actually get in their lap, and then whoever's having the anxiety attack then is like, oh, okay, and pets the dog and kind of helps them navigate out of it. It's fantastic. Those, you definitely want those, because those are the people that are going to go crazy. And the last thing we need is these people losing their shit. We've got enough crazy in the world as it is. Piano Finger Bangers here writes, the movie with Channing Tatum and the military dog was such a tough watch. Yeah, I don't know that one, and I don't want to know that one. Maureen says, I need to get a fake service vest for Bella and start taking her everywhere with me so she can get adopted. That's, boy, I cannot believe how sweet that dog is. That dog has not gotten adopted. But then you have like emotional support dogs where, you know, you get a lot of these folks who have emotionally support animals, and it's like, come on now. I think you have to really, you should have to show that you're really a disaster. And the dog has to actually perform certain tasks. You can't just have it while you're walking, you know, through the grocery store because you like having a dog in the grocery store. And then to me, there should only be a certain amount of animals that can be emotional support animals. The movie apparently is called Dog with Channing Tatum. They advertise it as a comedy. Be warned, definitely not a comedy. Well, that's a bummer. You watch it as a comedy and all of a sudden you're crying. All right, so there you go. That's from my pal, Dr. Jim Barry. Hope everything's going well with you. Okay, when you were a kid, you ever like ring the doorbell and then you run? And then we would just run and not look back. But some people will ring the doorbell and then they'll hide in the bushes and see the reaction of guy who opens the door. You know, maybe a little laughing. Hey, all right, enough. Okay. Ding dong ditch. You got me. Branjo says, don't scratch easy. Yeah, too late. I think I talked myself. I talked about my dry skin on my legs in the first part of the show. It's also affecting my arms right now, and I just lotioned up, but I can't help it. Everything's itching right now. I think I'm having some type of like what type of reaction is that? Because I was talking about it in the first half of the show. I think I talked myself into like having the itchies again. Branjo says, when I get that, I put on super hot water in the shower. It burns the itch out. So good. I'm also covered in goddamn mosquito bites too after this weekend. So that's not helping things. Anyway, where was I? So this guy in Texas, he hears the doorbell, and he's like, "Oh, great!" And he goes to the door, and there's no one there. It's ding dong ditch, and he can see the kid running down the street. He's an 11-year-old boy, and so the guy pulled out his gun and shot the kid dead. What? Yes. This is the guy right here. He shot the 11-year-old little boy because he rang the doorbell. Leon Gonzalo Jr., 42, was charged yesterday with murder, according to the Houston Police Department. I wonder if Nick in Houston is aware of this story. It was Saturday evening, and 11-year-old little guy rang the doorbell, and this guy shot him. A witness said the 11-year-old was running away from the house when he was shot in the back. What the fuck? Now, if they throw eggs at the house, then maybe. But I don't think ding-dong ditch warrants you can shoot the 11-year-old in the back when he's running away. My God. David said, sounds about right. What an a-hole. There's not a lot more on this story. They just arrested the guy, and then that's it. Now, I'm wondering if we'll find out that this guy who killed the 11-year-old for ringing the doorbell, can you imagine if we find out that this is a guy who's in the country illegally? I'm guessing he's not, because that would already be being reported. But, my God, how are you that unstable that, and you've made it to 42 years and you can't even handle a child, 11-year-old boy, ringing your doorbell? How is it that you even made it to 42 years old with that type of mentality in the first place? Other incidents in 2023, a Southern California man was convicted on 3 counts of first-degree murder. He killed 3 kids by ramming their car after they rang his doorbell as a prank. In May, a Virginia man was charged with second-degree murder for fatally shooting an 18-year-old who rang his doorbell while filming a TikTok video of the prank. My God. Yeah, I think we had more tolerance back in the day. I used to wreak havoc through the neighborhood with the amount of eggs that I would throw at my neighbors. I've talked about that before. Throwing snowballs at passing cars was a regular thing. Ghost riding our bikes down the street and taking bets as to which car it was going to slam into parked on the street. Badger says he owns a house. He's not illegal. Piano Finger Banger says, who didn't ever do ding-dong ditch as a kid? It was a rite of passage. We used to go, in order to get the right amount of projectiles to throw at houses and cars, would harvest tomatoes from my neighbor's yard. Like if we ran out of tomatoes in my mom's garden, we'd go into my neighbor's at night and take their, like, oh yeah, what do you got? I got a couple rotted eggplants. What about you? Tomatoes. Let's go. Maureen says murder lover Linda was a victim of one of your snowballs. Easy. One of my favorite moments from the Great Food Giveaway, it was a few years ago. Maureen and murder lover Linda were there. And they had to leave a little early. The weather, I think, was turning quickly. And I was standing on the corner waving cars in to come get the free food. And they had already decided to leave. And I knew they were like pulling out. I go, all right, see you later. And the window's open. And I'm probably 30 yards away. And if I remember correctly, the snowball was extremely large that I made. And when I threw it, it flew into the fucking window and hit Linda. Bob writes, it doesn't help that the current version of Ding Dong Ditch has started including attempting to mule kick the door in. Now, I'm not familiar with that part of it. Nor do I know if the 11-year-old tried to mule kick the door in. I don't know about that. It doesn't indicate that. As far as I can tell here, the 11-year-old rang the doorbell and was running away, and the guy opened the door, pulled out his gun, and shot the kid in the back. That's how I'm reading it. Anyway, that guy will face justice. Moving on. This guy at the Korn concert was arrested. This is him. It looks like he's kind of upset here, and this is him when the security and the cops. There's a lot of people there, and he's in the upper deck watching the show. There's the pit. You can see the pit in the image here, and on like the main floor, general admission or whatever, people on the main floor, and then there's the stage, and he's actually in the upper deck of this facility, wherever this is. And the cops are like, all right, you got to go. I'm not sure where it happened. But the guy was pounding his pud. So in this clip, you see from the fan's perspective, like 3 rows behind the guy. And then another fan comes up and punches this guy in the fucking head. And then he stops pounding his pud. And then the next thing you know, the cops are taking him away. So you can't masturbate in public. This is the video of what happened. Okay, now, right there, he really was working it. If you notice, he's a righty. So his right hand was feverishly pounding his pud at that point. Look at, he's going to town. And then this guy, all these fans are mortified. Hold on, back up. So, Nick would be doing the same thing. He loves his music so much. These fans, they're all like, oh my God, this is terrible. Guy's yanking his crank. This guy's like, fuck this shit. What? Boom! He just hit the guy. Now, they edited out the actual moment of impact. I don't know why. Maybe TikTok has a policy. But now he's done masturbating because he just got punched in the head. These guys are like, oh, shit. This guy can't believe it. Next thing you know, those look like Jersey cops by the gear that they're wearing. Look at the cop. You gotta grab his hand. There he is. He's like, now his pants are open. Look. Oh, God. Jesus. Fuck. Cop ready to kick his ass. This guy's in his jean shorts here. That looks like with like the just above the knees rolled up. Hello, 1989. Tofus says, I wonder what broke in his life. Megan says, is it out or in his pants? I think he actually had his crank hanging out when he was doing it. I mean, he had the right posture. Okay? I think his left, he was kind of like holding back skin meat, and then his right was just working it. That's an ugly scenario to be sure. More viral videos from the fan cam. This one is from a baseball game over the weekend. The announcers are seeing what you're seeing. Mom here looks like she's having a snack. Dad here. That's a look of a guy who's about to start some trouble. Like, if you've got that look on your face, you're like, okay, I know what's going on here. I've got an opportunity where I am on camera and I can do something hysterical.
For the folks at home, I on behalf of Chris Carey, I will apologize.
He just started fondling his wife's boobies.
Will apologize.
Okay, now the announcers at this point realize what's happened. They were apologizing about something different, by the way. They weren't apologizing on the titty shot. Well, not titty shot, on the fondling shot. They weren't apologizing for that. They were talking about something different.
On behalf of
I like how he looks down. He's like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna give myself a handful.
Chris Carey, I will apologize.
Now these guys react, and it's awesome.
You are a handful, Chris, let me tell you.
So now these guys are cracking. Silent. They're laughing so hard they can't even concentrate. This goes on.
Fly ball center. That'll end the inning. Ace down by a few. Gonna try to grab a couple back.
I like how that's how they end it. They'll try to grab a couple back. Tofa says that was more entertaining than the entire game. Man Bun Chris is here. He writes, as Castellanos homers to center. He adds, I saw a tweet that said Trump did not pass because Castellanos did not hit a home run. Megan says this is so funny and would 100% happen in my life. She said, I mean the baseball video, not the jerking off at a Korn concert. Oh, no, I got you. Only an animal who likes that style of music, like Nick, would be caught doing that. God. So, I mean, I can see the whole boob grab, but going back to guy who's pounding his pud like that in public, what if you're not massively under the influence of drugs? What's wrong with you? If you're that much of a psychopath, my God. Let's break down a fight. This one at a Walmart in Indianapolis. It looks like the posse is attacking one of the employees over at the Walmart. We pick it up in the middle of the ass kicking, it seems, at the checkout line, and you have several combatants that are attacking Walmart employee, and all people are doing are just looking to pick up some supplies, and then this thing unfolds in front of their eyes. Okay. All right, you got this lady in the pink there. Is she screaming and punching? She's part of it. Okay, she's stomping and kicking in. We got potential for a titty to fly out here. And then you got another chick kicking this employee's legs. The two are attempting to hurt this woman. You got another lady with a baby. Red shirt guy is trying to break it up, I think. Okay, now we got this young blood here is attacking the Walmart employee as well. And the guy's like, no, come on, man. All right. Okay, pink shirt is now gone. And this guy is narrating. Pink shirt is now away. She's powerful, this pink shirt lady. Now you got two other chicks who are beating up the Walmart employee.
Walmart, Indianapolis.
Now, none of these punches are hurting. Okay, a lot of times whenever I've watched these fight, especially between female combatants, it's kind of like whoever is getting beaten just kind of walks away and has no problem. And that's what's happening here. See this lady right here? She's getting ready to go back to work now. I think that's a chick. I'm not 100% sure. Okay, now Walmart's going back after pink shirt. Walmart's not done. We got an exposed titty right there. All right, let's back up. Walmart says, fuck you. And, okay, there we go. There we go. We've got under tit exposed on pink shirt. Like I said, pink shirt is nothing to slouch at. Her power is undeniable, and she's going low. She's getting her hips into it. Young blood getting ready to strike here. Now you've got Walmart and pink shirt grappling like sumo style. All right, another person. There's the titty. Has gotten involved. Pink shirt, they're trying to pull pink shirts. It's like a hockey fight, but they're not breaking it up. As Gabriel Iglesias is getting involved here, that's red shirt. Fluffy. And then they just walk away. See, this is pink shirt. She's not even out of breath. I'm always amazed at the recovery time of these athletes. And then it's back for round number 3. From here, I'm confused. I don't see Walmart lady with the dreads. Young blood, still kind of like, he's like 14. He takes his baby sister. All right, now, if you're listening to the audio podcast, you got to look at this all for yourself. There's a link in the show notes. Now they're separating. This guy just walking away. He's like, he's just conducting his business. Now, this is a fight between black people only. And especially at the Walmart, there's rules. This is a black people only fight. The white people can get involved, but all they can do is say, hey, knock it off. All right, come on. And you can't like raise your voice or anything, because then you're probably going to get stomped out too. That's why we just saw this guy, this white guy leave. He's like, yep, no big deal. No big deal. Nothing to see here. And you see the other white people that are involved. But this is a fight between black people only. All right, now that the loud, shrieky voice you hear, that's pink shirt. She's upset. Gabriel Iglesias looking on. Okay. It looks like cooler heads are prevailing here. That lady had some titties. Look at I think she's in charge here. This one right here, I think she tells everybody to shut up. I think that's the end of it. Red hair looking on.
Can I please get everybody?
Okay, now they go to their separate corners. No big deal. Outstanding effort by all those involved. Tophus says pink shirt is scary. Yeah, hats off to everybody involved. No one really hurt. They worked it out, and then that's it. No one pulled the weapon. Those punches really didn't do anything. It was just a lot of window dressing on that fight. Tophus says poverty is fucked. Yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that those were poor people. I think that those are the wealthiest of people. Tofa says she's gone from Sector. She's gone all Sector from Mortal Kombat. I don't get the reference. I'll take your word for it, though. Stevie says, what are they fighting about? We don't know. We don't know. Tophus says the way Walmart lady whipped her dreads around, I thought she was about to open all sorts of whoop ass. She didn't do as well as she wanted in that, and you know the fight went about as long as it could go. There's a time when you know it's over. Cole says pink shirt is a professional. That's how every interaction at every store goes. Branjo says because of all the crowd shootings, the first thing I'm doing at the sound of a fight is getting the fuck out of there. No. Well, that depends. If you know how like you can tell the difference in speech patterns between white people and black people? Like if I hear angry pink shirt mama big titty woman voice, I know that's a black lady. You are safe as long as you stay in your lane as a white man. You can look on. You might take a punch. You don't punch back, you're going to get stomped out. But I would want to, if I'm walking through Walmart and that's happening, Maureen says you must pull out your phone and video. You can't run away. No, white people cannot video that. You don't want to look exploitive. You just want to stand there. I would like get in the middle of it and just stand there and soak in the essence of it. I wouldn't even try to stop these people. I would love to actually eat a punch from one of those bitches. Megan says when it comes to violence at a Walmart, it's the white men you have to be careful of. Absolutely. Okay. That was outstanding. I'm glad I got to. I hadn't watched that. I just knew that it was a brawl. Man Bun Chris says Zane would be all about the dirty feet people. Look, it's not my fault that you guys know me. I'd be like, kick off your shoes. Let's see those tootsies. All right, that was a great fight. Country singer Brian Martin. He was on stage in New York, and he was so drunk, they took him off the stage. He was mid-performance somewhere in New York, Albany, about 30 minutes from Albany at some fairgrounds. Deputies and staff attempted to assist him off stage, but he was so drunk he became resistant and had to be forcibly escorted out. This is the cops leading the guy off the stage. That's a bad look. I don't know, maybe not. Because I had never heard of Brian Martin prior to this incident. In a Facebook video, the Wolves Cry singer can be seen shouting as cops made their way toward him. He was carried away from the venue. After the concert, the musician apologized to fans in a heartfelt message on social media. He wrote, "Sorry I let y'all down tonight. Truth is, I'm not okay. Been hitting it hard for a while, and I haven't taken time to be honest with myself about my mental health, and it's nothing new to struggle with my anxiety and depression." All right, this is good. This is what you want. If you want to improve your celebrity, have that ugly moment. Throw yourself on the sword. Go away. Come back more popular than ever. He says, I've had a weight on my heart lately that's been heavy and accumulating with time, and I let myself and my fans down. by not addressing them and getting help and pretending it was all going to just go away. It's a lot of fluff. He says, I'm not ever proud when I reach for another drink. I hope y'all can find it in you to forgive me and hope I can be a better version of myself with some prayer and love, he said. And I appreciate y'all believing in a broken old soul like me. The social media post has since been reposted by the sheriff's department that arrested him. They said Martin's admission shifts the perspective from one of conflict to one of compassion. So that's excellent, actually. Martin is in the middle of his years in the making tour. He is due to be in the great state of Michigan in Saginaw on September 6th. This is the video I have. I have 58 seconds of fun of this guy.
Been baptized by the preacher's daughter. Lucky for me, no, he never called it.
All right. This isn't helping me. It's got music in it. I don't want the music. That's his music, I guess. So pick it up. Here's when he's actually being arrested. Oh my God. They're carrying him away. Oh, God. Now, if this guy is able to turn it around, it'd be an outstanding story. One that I think a lot of people would be interested in. Tophus writes this. Oh, bullshit. Do I say Rensselaer? Rensselaer County sheriffs wouldn't have done that with a black guy. Yeah, you know, it makes you wonder. We don't know. Hopefully everybody would get the same treatment, but it sure looked like they were taking it easy on him. I guess it all depends. I think what a lot of it has to do with if the guy getting carried away who's fucking drunk, if he's just being carried away, that's one thing. But if he's carried away and squirming, it's another. Any type of squirm is can be looked at as resisting arrest. You don't want to be busted for squirm, because then you're probably going to get smacked over the head if there's any type of squirm. Now, if you're that guy, they're carrying you away, there's a little squirm, they might say, hey, easy there. No more squirming from you. But I think Tophus is onto something. If you do the type of squirm where the cop can all right, quit squirming, you might get jacked in the back of the head by the cop if you're the black guy. So you're best to keep your body control intact with no resist. You don't get that grace if you're black guy. Zero grace coming your way if you're black guy. Tophus says if you really piss them off, they'll say you attacked an officer when they punch you in the head repeatedly. So for that idiot, he's lucky he was A, white, B, that drunk, and C, in a place where they probably love him. He'll probably be able to make a comeback, no problem. If you are, what is his name again? Brian Martin. Maureen says that the publicist wrote that letter. Yeah, I mean, I totally can see that. All right. Headline reads, disgraced priest who had sex on church altar getting his confiscated electronics back. This is Travis Clark, the priest in question. Wow. What a fucking face on this guy. If you're listening to the audio podcast, you got to see this guy's. I mean, that's like the picture that they take and hang inside of the entrance of the church. First of all, he's very young. He looks kind of like an alien. What a weird look on this guy. So he set up the camera in the sanctuary at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in, I think, some part of New York. No, I'm sorry. This is 40 miles north of New Orleans at St. Peter and Paul Catholic Church in Pearl River, Louisiana. He filmed himself having sex with a pair of dominatrix on a church altar. I don't know if why that was something you get arrested for, unless they did it like during mass or something like that. But he was arrested. The former pastor is supposed to get his cell phones, his tablets, his computers, his gaming consoles, flash drives, and memory cards that were seized by local cops as they investigated the episode. And this episode happened back in 2020. Boy, that's crazy that he's described as a former pastor, because typically you can get away with that in the Catholic Church. I guess it's only if you have sex with children that they say, hey, that's okay, and move you to another parish. So I guess it's news that this guy is getting his electronics back. I don't even know why it's news, but I'm just glad that it came up, because now we can talk about it. This is the video of him in 2020. He looks like retarded Jim Harbaugh. Topher says, he banged a woman. That's against their religion. Stevie says, adults? That's unusual. Clark, who voluntarily left the clergy, pleaded guilty to a felony obscenity charge for filming his tryst or tryst, depending on who you are, with the dominatrix Empress Ming and Lady Six, VI, who also responds to Satanatrix. Can't read. Clark, 41, received a 3-year suspended sentence in 2022 for engaging in the unholy trinity, along with 3 years of supervised probation and a $1,000 fine. The priest's after-hour shenanigans were revealed on September 30th, 2020, when a curious parishioner driving by noticed bright lights coming from inside the church and stopped. He eventually caught the priest and his two doms, started filming them, and called the cops. The women pleaded guilty the same year to institutional vandalism and received probation. Stage lights, sex toys, and other recording equipment was also seized. So this guy really unpacked all the tricks here. Sources told The Guardian the video Clark filmed on the altar depicted a communion wine chalice being urinated in. God damn. The priest wound up serving 6 months in jail for violating the terms of his probation back then by speaking to a local news affiliate at the time. During the interview, he bemoaned the celibate life priests choose and said he was struggling with loneliness and wanting human interaction during the COVID-19 lockdown. Struggling and falling, sinning too. Priests sin as well, said Clark, adding he still believes in God and continued considering mercy and forgiveness very important. Lady Six blasted the nosy parishioner in a Hustler magazine interview for filming the three without our consent. Yeah, that's the first thing I thought. So they're there in that priest's church doing that. Nobody has any idea what's going on. And they end up getting busted over this. And he is right. I mean, priests do sin. But, I mean, I don't know what happens behind closed doors when a priest commits a sin. Like, let's say a priest pounds his bud. He's supposed to go to confession like I would have to go, which is usually an hour before the vigil mass on a Saturday or by appointment. So maybe he could make an appointment with one of his other priests and then say, hey, guess what? Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. It has been 1 week since my last confessional. In that time, I beat my meat at the Korn concert. And he'll be like, okay, all right, well, and then he'll say a few words, and then he'll absolve him of his sins and give him a penance that he has to do. Go say 10 Hail Marys and do a good deed, and don't do that again. And then a week later, he's back in there. You can keep doing that. There is no limit to what you can accomplish with a well-placed confession. And there is privilege here. The priest you're confessing to doesn't say anything. You can say the worst thing ever. You could say, hey, yeah, I murdered a kid and ate him. And the priest is not supposed to say a word. That sounds ridiculous, but it's true. Tophus said, so the video's fucked, but at least it wasn't a child. Exactly. I think there's a lot worse things that have happened in the Catholic Church than this guy who's having sex on the altar and videoing it. Sure, it's just weird. I mean, if he hadn't gotten caught, he would be at that altar saying mass. That whole story is strange. From the way that guy looks to the whole ritual. But I'm kind of on the side of the former priest. I don't think I think that's what the article said. He's not a priest anymore. I'm actually on his team. And it had that person not shot video and ratted him out. Sorry, I keep itching. I now have mosquito bites that are flaring up from the weekend. I got eaten alive. He could have, said nothing if he wanted to, but that is a mortal sin. Or he could have actually pled for forgiveness from another priest, and they would have said, yeah, all right, but seriously, I don't know. I don't think they have the right to say you have to stop being a priest now. Once you confess the sin and you are absolved, you're then free. You're like living the good life until you fuck it up again. I know this all sounds crazy to some of you that are not Catholic, but I swear to God, that's the way it is. I can't tell you how many times I sat before a priest and said, hey, on Wednesday, I pounded my pud. I wouldn't say pound my pud, though. I would always try to speak technically with him because I didn't want him to start laughing in my face. But I was always known for giving the best confessions. And because that was, to me, it was all about word economy. I want to be in and out of there. You don't want to be, and you can't treat them. You got to understand that it's like talking to a robot. So Like Tophus, he writes, confessing your sins don't make them go away. Fucking Catholicism and their cult. So the rule is, if, let's say, I take communion, but then during the week, I pound my pud. I have to go before I take communion again and say, Father, I pounded my pud. He's going to say, all right, you can't do that anymore. No, he wouldn't even say that. He'd say, all right, you're forgiven for your, he'd say a few words. Uh-huh, yep, okay. And then he'd say, for your penance, I want you to do this. Okay, great. I go do that, and he goes, and then I am in a what's known as a state of grace. The only way you're in a state of grace is if you walk out of the confessional and then you go to the mass that's right after confession. Then the time, it's probably 40 minutes since I was given absolution. Now I am pristine. I am in a state of grace. Then and only then am I allowed to take communion. Had I blown that off, now I'm double. I got a double mortal sin. And it compounds. But if this goes haywire, I can always go back and confess. Now, when the mass starts after confession, everybody that's seated there, none of them are in a state of grace. Maybe like very few. Because no one goes to confession. No one ever confesses. It's the priest is sitting there looking at his watch, and he's like, okay, well, I got this guy who's waiting out, so that takes up 5 minutes. And Eric's going to tell me about beating his meat. All right, so that's 2. There's 500 people there in the fucking place. They're not. Are you telling me they're all perfect? No. Donko says, isn't that what the act of contrition is for? When I look at him and say, hey, I beat my meat, that's my act of contrition. One-on-one. During Lent, they do it for the group. But you're supposed to actually confess your sins to the priest. Megan says, is beating the meat a sin? Yes. It's unbelievable. Very involved. You telling him what you did is contrition. Yeah. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I have done this, this, this. Please forgive me. That is the act of contrition. And then you are absolved of the sin. And he puts his hands up and he says, pray with me. And then I pray with him. And then off I go. Now, I stopped going to Catholic Mass. I stopped being a practicing Catholic some time ago. By the way, I'm running long, but slightly long. I guess not really, considering I didn't go long in the first half. There's the new Pope. There's some priest who loves the gays who is now going to visit the Pope to see how, if he's like into gay people. Now, the way this usually goes in the Catholic Church is now the Pope's, like Francis, the last one, he passed. And this new guy, I forget his name. Francis was like, oh, yeah, who am I to judge? So there's been like an idea of more acceptance for our gay brothers and sisters, but not really. A priest can go to a gay person's house and say, I'm blessing you as a gay couple. But that's the extent of it. They can't say, I support gay marriage. It's still a sin to Catholics. Maureen says, is there an actual prayer called the act of contrition? I don't remember. Tophus says the new Pope is American, right? He probably hates gays. I don't think he does. I don't think he hates gays, but gayness is still a sin in the Catholic Church, and they still don't let gay people get married. So that's why I can't really go. I get my ass kicked by the gays in my life. Before I wrap this up, thank you to Kuiper Tree Care, 616-828-8225. They can take care of any down trees that happen to fall, or maybe you have an unwanted tree. They can do that. They can grind the stump down. They can head over and trim your tree. They do tree risk assessment. All there for you at Kuiper Tree Care, 616-828-8225 today. Berlin Raceway, online at berlinraceway.com. Great place to go to see the races. We've got races coming up Friday and Saturday of this week. berlinraceway.com for all your racing action. Get your tickets at berlinraceway.com. You can get races or tickets for Friday and Saturday for $25 by 11:59 p.m. Thursday. If you go to individually, it's $15 a pop. Oakland Auto Detail, 616-510-3470. Follow them on Facebook. Check out their videos and tell them that I sent you. Please, I know a lot of you have been commenting on the videos at Oakland Auto Detail saying, hey, EZ sent me. You'd be doing me a big solid if you followed Oakland Auto Detail on Facebook and let them know that I sent you to them. And if you want your car cleaned inside and out, 616-510-3470 in West Michigan for Oakland Auto Detail. 616-510-3470. Pinball Land invites you to check them out. Gabe, the Honduran, swung by this past weekend. Thank you, buddy. Pinball-land.com for a look at how it is that they have their place set up there. Great place to go for a wonderful, entertaining time. Retro Arcade in Rockford, Michigan. Pinball-land.com. Donko says they don't let gay people or priests get married. And then he goes, No. If you are gay, you can be a priest. Just don't tell them. No, I don't know if that's true. I might be wrong on that. I think if you're gay, it's kind of like don't ask, don't tell. Tophus says Jesus supposedly loved everyone and preached love. I've seen more hate from religious people. I think what we're looking at here is something as sweet as the life and love of Jesus, which is fantastic, has been over the years ruined by white guys. That's what this is. The asshole of the day is happening right now. Asshole of the day before I left you on Wednesday was Taylor Swift fans who can't control their emotions. Today's asshole of the day is the guy who murdered the 11-year-old kid for ringing his doorbell. Ding Dong Ditch Murderer is your asshole of the day. That is the end of the Eric Zane Show podcast for this September 2nd edition. I'll be back with Patreon a little later on after Who Are These Broadcasters? Thank you, as always, for being here. And as always, you've been a fantastic crowd. I appreciate you so much. Check me out on Patreon for free at patreon.com/Eric Zane. Till next time, folks, thank you and bye-bye.